Principal Skinner, the happiest place on Earth is a registered Disneyland copyright.
Well, gentlemen, it's just a small school carnival.
And it's heading for a great big lawsuit.
If you were to ask anyone what was their favorite Disney film, there are a few common answers you could get from them. They could say The Lion King, with its grand score and interesting and thought-provoking story. Or Aladdin, with its smooth, rich animation, fantastic voice work, and gut-bustingly funny humor. Or even Hercules, with its thrilling action scenes and memorable characters. Or any other number of main series Disney films. All of these answers are fine. I'm not gonna bash anyone who has these as their favorites. I'm just saying that these would be the most common answers you'd come across from most people. But my favorite is quite odd in terms of taste, since it isn't necessarily a cinematic Disney film. In fact, it wasn't even made by the main series Disney team, and that film is the one and only A Goofy Movie. A lot of people I've talked to about this pick always ask the same question: what's so good about it? It doesn't have the grand epic scale, the riveting plots, or stellar voice talent of any Disney movies of the past or present. And while that might be true, to me, I say that there's more than meets the eye when it comes to this 1995 critically mediocre theatrical release. And I'm not alone in thinking this way, because over the past 5 to 10 years, this cute little movie has gone from just a so-so film to Disney cult status, garnering fan art, fan fiction, cosplays, and even live action reimaginings. And at this moment, it hit me that this video needed to happen. Now you might be asking, GeekToons, what's this video about exactly? A 20+ minute video discussing the intricacies of how this film should be considered a cinematic masterpiece and anyone who thinks differently is wrong? No, not really. It's just a video talking about my love for this film. Listen, not every video talking about a movie has to be a Schifferless style review. I believe that each facet of this movie has something interesting to discuss about. So, with all that out of the way, let's head on down to Toontown as we discuss A Goofy Movie. Now, the premise for A Goofy Movie is a lot more sterile than most other Disney animated films released around that time. Unlike its contemporaries, it doesn't include our main character fighting some form of greater evil, or anything like that. Rather, the premise of the movie focuses on Max Goof, Goofy's son, as he gets to school on the last day before summer. There, he pulls an elaborate stunt at the school's last pep rally in an attempt to get a girl named Roxanne to notice him. Unfortunately for Max, he gets caught in front of the whole school, leading to Principal Mazer calling Goofy, majorly blowing the situation out of proportion.
Your son caused the entire student body to break into a riotous frenzy!
Riot? Couldn't be mine.
If I were you, Mr. Goof, I'd seriously reevaluate the way you're raising your child before he ends up in the electric chair!
Now Goofy and Max drive across the country, with Max trying to steer the trip to Los Angeles, while Goofy tries to strengthen his bond with his son. With that plot synopsis, the common viewer would think that there would be nothing special with it, but that's where the story excels in my opinion. It shows its strengths in the different locations they visit, characters they interact with, and hijinks that ensue there. Being a road trip film, its main goal is to tell a good story not just with one main area, but multiple during its runtime. We become enthralled in different locations, from shoddily built but charming roadside attractions to colorful, vibrant suburbs. The film gives 110% when it comes to world building, and I believe it definitely shows. But what's a premise and world without its characters? The characters of any story are the most important elements of it. They can drive the story forward, offer intriguing interactions, or just be good for a laugh while you watch. And a well-written, fully realized character can a lot of the time improve the enjoyment of a film. So how good are the characters of A Goofy Movie? Well, let's go over them, shall we? First, we have one half of our main duo, Dippy Dog, aka George Geef, aka Goofy. Where before the movie, he would be known mainly as the comic relief of any cartoon he's in the film, he takes on the role of a father and guardian to his son. In this film, he's a lot more than just a punchline for a joke. He's also a lot more caring, affectionate, and parent-like. What I mean by this is that he's a lot more like the Goof Troop version of his character, where we see that there's more to him than just a silly laugh. Next, we have the son of Goofy, Max. Up until this movie, he mostly made appearances in Disney projects like Mickey's A Christmas Carol and Goof Troop, but those appearances mostly represented him as a typical young child. Goofy Movie is the first time we see him with a lot more personality. He's still the same energetic kid, but a lot more grown up. He's conscious, he's boisterous, he's a troublemaker, but always tries to show that he has a good heart. And I have to give props to the team for actually managing to make him stand out from the crowd of other Disney protagonists. This is evident in a scene later on in the film where Max had an opportunity to redeem himself but didn't, whereas scenes like this would be ripe for the main character having some form of redemption. This offers some leeway for the final act of the film, making for a really satisfying ending to the story in my opinion. After that, we have Roxanne, a new character in the Disney canon, as well as the love interest to Max. While she only shows up a limited number of times throughout the film, I can appreciate that she isn't a bland popular knockout. She's shy, a bit clumsy, and has some geeky friends, and is more than a cliche, which does make the scenes where she flirts with Max honestly adorable.
Aw, it's puppy love.
Don't act like you wouldn't have said it! Your hands are just as dirty!
There are some more people in the film I can list, such as Pete and PJ, Principal Mazer, Stacy, and many more, but we would be here all day. All of these characters make the world more lived in and populated, almost like a reflection of our own world. Apart from characters, what would be missing from this Disney production? Music! Disney films have always had a reputation for having cinematic, attention-grabbing scores for their films that perfectly represent each scene they reside in, whether to convey a happy uplifting moment or a hopeless sad moment in the film. And a Goofy movie conveys this idea to a T, with a soundtrack that not only is great but also surprisingly has a double meaning to some of the songs. Stand Out, while a positive, upbeat song, also represents Max's desire to make himself more distinct from his peers and become noticed by Roxanne. After Today, while a nice homage to classical West Side Story scores, also projects the excitement and anticipation for ending another educative hardship. On the Open Road is a quirky little ditty, but also delivers a message about enjoying not only the destination of life, but the journey as well. And the piece de resistance of the film, Eye to Eye, while a phenomenal piece, also surprisingly offers great insight into what makes a great relationship work between a parent and a child. All of these tracks help the film exceed musically in my opinion, making the film a lot more theatrical and Broadway-esque as far as Disney movies go. But music isn't the only thing that contributes to the overall quality of a Disney film. Throughout my viewing of this film, I've enjoyed every second of the fun characters, its interesting premise, and its phenomenal music. But most importantly, there exists a message that the movie tries to tell its audience. It may seem completely backwards that I'm saying this, but I feel like a Goofy movie is a message about keeping a good, healthy relationship between parents and their kids. As parents, they have the goal to educate, to inspire, and to raise their children in order to get them ready for adulthood. But that doesn't mean that as the child grows older, that the parent won't want to be part of their life. Which does reflect Goofy's worries about Max. His worries that Max would want nothing to do with him as he grows older. These internal fears drive Goofy's motivation to attempt to bond with Max. And as kids, as they grow older, they become more independent, and as the song goes, they have the want to stand out above the crowd, which is reflected in Max's choices throughout the film. If this was the filmmaker's original intent, it's masterfully done. I can definitely see this being a message for both kids and adults of all ages to learn from. And this is where a Goofy movie shines in my opinion. Its relatability. Its ability to give the audience a real-life scenario through the lens of animation, using the medium as a tool rather than a gimmick. And that's exactly why this is my favorite Disney film, and why I keep coming back to it to this day.
All I need is half a chance, a second thought, a second glance to prove I got whatever it takes. It's a piece of cake to stand out above the crowd, even if I gotta shout out loud. Mine is the only face you see, but stand out, yeah, stand out, yeah. So mine is the only face you see, gonna stand out till you notice me.
I hope this video managed to convince you why this is a great film in Disney's collection. Sure, it doesn't have the immense voice talent of Aladdin, the grand music of The Lion King, or the attention-grabbing animation of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but it manages to deliver a message that is a picture-perfect representation of the stresses of being a teenager as well as a parent, and that to me, at least, makes it stand out above the crowd. Anyways, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at GeekToons and join my Discord server to hang out with me and other cartoon fans. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.